Okay. This is, I'm going to put both of these videos up. This is part 2. We were, unfortunately, I ended it instead of pausing. And we were in the middle of Julia's expressive conversation about what she wanted.
Well,
What she
Okay,
wanted.
Julia, repeat your words.
oh God. Well, I was just saying, you know, and it boils down in terms of diversity. I'm just tired of, you know, we have to be better qualified. There should not even be that discussion.
Yeah.
If I am, if you know, whatever the character is, if it's a character that does not state a race, a gender, or whatever. If I am, you know, let me audition. And if I'm as good as, you know, let us all come in there and compete for it and hire me because I was good. I impressed you. Not because I had to be better than so-and-so. You know,
your definition of diversity is that, well, there's, you know, this is the play that I've decided that I'm going to put some person of color in. And so this is, you know, diversity it has a big range in meaning.
right.
And it's not just race, it's sex, it's genders, it's all those kinds of things.
Right.
And you know, we all need to be a little bit more informed about what that is and in our business, you know, and sensitive, because this is what we're supposed to be, the sensitive ones. Now, Leah, part 2, we're into part 2 now. So Leah, what do you want to see, and where do you think we'll be?
What I want to see is for people of color to be the producers, to be the creators,
to own the theater,
to be the decision makers. Because I don't think, as long as you are going to somebody else and asking them, please give me a part, you are never going to see the diversity that you want to see. I think that instead of, you know, and this is probably awful, but I see professional athletes that buy houses and shoes and cars. And I would rather see them invest in theater that tells our stories. We have something to say. And until we are the people that are actually the decision makers and the movers and shakers, we're just begging for handouts.
Sounds like something I talk about all the time, in essence of acting, doesn't it? Yes.
Yes.
And I think that until we realize that, you know, you guys all know that you have seen theater save lives.
Exactly.
You have seen the arts
save my life.
You know, you've seen it up close and personal. Yet our country does not support arts in the way that there were so many. I can remember going to Denmark and going to Switzerland and going to places and seeing art supported by the country.
It's amazing.
And seeing high quality arts. For us, the arts are something that people with money have access to. Everybody doesn't have access to the arts.
It's an elitist art form. It is.
Yes, and in school, it's really the people who demand it. And that too often is people with money.
Yeah.
And I have said many times, I sat on a panel with Maria Shriver, I think it was, and she was talking about the importance of the arts. And I had to tell some folks that, you know what, these are some of the richest people in the world. If they value it, why don't we value it?
Exactly.
Why don't we see how important it is? Why are we so quick to say that the only thing that matters is reading and writing and arithmetic?
Yep.
I got all the pieces of paper. I got all the letters behind my name.
Yeah.
But I can tell you, I have opportunities that I only experienced because of my arts background.
Exactly.
And people will tell you that children tend to do a lot better in school when they have arts programs in the school.
Oh, you know, I tell people all the time, you have never When have you ever heard somebody say, oh, I saw that child doing that math. Yay, she was doing that math. When have you ever seen that? Or, oh, did you see her read that book? She was reading. She was fierce.
Right.
You know,
Right.
kids remember the play they were in.
Yes.
They remember the band that they participated in.
Right.
They remember the talent show. And I'm not saying those other things don't matter.
Oh, they absolutely do.
No, but the thing is, like the child
are important.
But what I think what you're saying is that it's the STEM to STEAM. It's that, you know, the things that our country, our society has decided that science and technology and engineering and math are essentials, but that you go from STEM to STEAM. You must add the arts because our scientists started out playing the piano. You know, the greatest minds will go back and say, you know, you can go to the greatest minds that we have, and you go, well, what did you used to do when you were a child? Oh, my mother made me take violin lessons, because I took violin lessons. I understood the discipline of what you have to do in order to stick to something.
Right.
It influences you all the time.
Right, and the fact that
our humanity.
Yes, it is our
gives us our humanity.
Exactly.
And also that same child that's in that play, if she can read and memorize those lines, now she wants to read because now there's a whole new world open up to her.
That's
if you know, like if you're
right.
in that play or you're doing a little dance, all right, I need 5 counts of 8. Now you're doing math.
Exactly.
You know,
it's
it helps
incorporated
children,
all
instead
in
of
it.
numbers.
Right.
They get to learn math in a fun way.
Right.
And it's not a turnoff anymore.
You know, Leah, I agree with you. So I always say, if I could just be in a room with some of these athletes, these really wonderful sports people who display the same kind of discipline that we have,
Absolutely. Yeah.
but are rewarded differently than we are. If I could just sit for 5 minutes and explain to them how they can be supportive of what it is that we do, and then create what is it that the gangsters create, a cartel or whatever, a cartel of support for the arts.
Adopt a school. They're not even
Exactly.
going to
Right,
miss
just like
that
they have
money.
adopt a highway, adopt a school.
Adopt a
Yes.
school.
Yes,
I
I mean,
agree.
to start that kind of a movement with them, because they are the superstars. Used to be movie stars, you were the superstars, but we're not the people in the film and television and theater. We're not the superstars anymore. It's the sports society. And they just have to be acquainted with how much we need them to support us, because we need that support. We really, really do. We do. All right, ladies, I have kept you all an hour on the radio. I've messed up our first half hour. I got to put up 2 inserts now on YouTube of the Dancing Queens, part 1 and part 2.
Dancing Queen.
I like that. Thank you.
I like that.
Yes. And so I can't thank you enough for coming on and gracing me with your time and your energy and your talents and your stories and your history.
Well, thank you so much for doing this and having
Yes,
us.
thank you, Lenny. This was
And
fun.
I finally got to meet Leah. I'm so
Yes.
happy.
That's so cute. I can't
Yes.
believe y'all did not know each other. That is
Right.
because I'm sure I've said to her, "Oh, you know Julia Lee."
Leslie, yes,
You know
she said
Leah
that.
Bass.
That's like, no. You don't know Leah?
How can you not know Leah?
I know.
It's funny because it's such a, we all know each other. So
Right.
you gotta
But you
figure
know
out,
the work.
did I
You
know?
know
Yeah,
the work.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
that's the whole thing. You really, when you see someone, you think you see them and you see, as we said, you see their investment in the work, which is what we were talking about. Some of that is missing sometimes. Then you say, I know that person. I do know that person.
Yeah.
Because you see their investment. So
You
all
know,
I
Lenny-
can say is thank you.
Lenny, what is funny to me is that we've been in so many of the same places. You know, I listened to you guys talk about Urban Arts Corps, and I did Arms Too Short to Box with God in Paris.
Yeah.
Wow.
And, you know, we talk about all these places that we've all been at the same time or at different times. We've been around different people. And, you know, the two of you inspire me and have always inspired me. You know, Doc, you know I love you. And I watched you from afar, Julia. I told you that. And I just was always so inspired. And Lenny, I remember so clearly seeing you in Bubble and Brown Sugar.
No.
And Maurice talking about you 24/7.
No, you mean Yui.
In UB.
Yes.
And
yes.
Maurice talking about you 24/7.
24/7.
You know, I mean, I just, you feel like, wow, I'm so blessed to have had you in my life, even from afar.
You do feel that, though. You know, when you see you see a kindred spirit on the stage, and you really feel like, or you meet them, you know, with a group of people. We've all kind of passed each other and going, hi, how you doing? Hi, how you doing? You do know that there's a kindred, I don't know, spirit. There is something in common that we all have and we share, and it's the arts, and it's even more, you know, it's our love and our passion for it. And we still must have it. We'll all have it until we're not here anymore.
Yeah.
And that's,
So I think it's our love and our passion for our comrades.
yeah.
I think that we are a part of that generation that had to see AIDS up close and personal.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think it taught us to say our I love yous now.
Now.
Because,
Absolutely.
yes.
Yeah.
We have
I
each
just
other's
say goodbye
back.
to so many people who meant so much. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. Well, we're going to say, I want you all to hold on for a second. I'm going to end this. And I'm going to say thank you, everybody, for looking at this, looking at our after show afterthoughts. You see, these are fascinating women, and I probably am going to try to get them all back here, and you know, in another season. But they're all too busy now; they make me sick. But anyway, I can't thank them enough, and I can't thank you enough for looking every week and supporting and texting and emailing me and messaging me, telling me you can't wait. Thank you so very, very, very much. And good night from LYNNIE Godfrey, Straight No Chaser, After Show, Afterthoughts. Bye-bye.